I remember in the 1990s and early 2000s, movies based on video games weren't exactly setting the world on fire. They were often cheesy, camp, cheap, and just generally bad. Films like Street Fighter, Super Mario Bros., Double Dragon, Wing Commander, not good cinema to say the least. I also didn't really rate those Angelina Jolie Tomb Raider movies very highly. The Resident Evil saga, starring Mila Jovovich, did become a movie franchise with a cult following, but they weren't great either. Doom, starring The Rock, had potential, I thought, but ended up being a very generic Aliens knockoff. I think it's fair to say that there once was a little bit of a stigma associated with movies that were based on video games, and I'm glad to see that slowly but surely that's going away. There's been many other disappointing film adaptations of popular video game IPs over the years. One of the most recent was Borderlands, but that being said, movies based on video games have been getting better and better over the years, and certainly far more profitable at the box office. 2023's Gran Turismo was very highly rated. The Sonic the Hedgehog movies have been huge. They began in 2020, and they've been great family-friendly films, highly profitable, well-received, and faithful depictions of the games, and there's more movies on the way in that series. The animated 2023 Super Mario Bros. Movie was a smash hit, cracking over $1.3 billion at the box office. And of course, this leads us to this year's blockbuster behemoth, a Minecraft movie. At the time of making this video, it's surpassed $726 million at the box office worldwide, as per Box Office Mojo, and it's become a cultural phenomenon thanks to it being packed with fan service memes. They definitely knew what the Minecraft audience wanted. They'd done their homework there. They knew what they were going to be receptive to. And though such a film definitely doesn't speak to someone like myself, it does connect with a generation of Minecraft players who appreciate this adaptation immensely. Anyway, more on this topic right after this. But before we go very much further, just a reminder to pick up a copy of my sci-fi novel Deus V Machina. It's set in Las Vegas in 2045. Detective Cody Stockton investigates a mysterious death and soon uncovers a global conspiracy involving a totalitarian AI system and a deadly satanic cult. All of this is happening against the backdrop of the second coming of Christ and the incredible transformation this has on the world. These events begin to intertwine as Stockton must race against time to stop a diabolical plot. Fast-paced and with a thought-provoking plot, Deus V Machina explores the role of God at a time of high technology and includes themes of faith and forgiveness. Pick up your copy today in ebook, paperback, and audiobook formats from the links below. Okay, so welcome back. So it's clear that although there's still the odd dud video game movie adaptation released now and then, it's just not like the 1990s or 2000s anymore. They're clearly getting better and becoming much more profitable. Conversely, movies based on comic books, such as superhero films, appear to be in decline. Culturally, fandom and I think general audiences are tiring of the sheer amount of them released over the past 25 years, especially since the advent of the Marvel Cinematic Universe in 2008. Recent poor financial returns and a general feeling of been there, done that, has meant that there's just less of a driving need to go and see these movies in the cinema. Add to that, a young generation who grew up with DC and Marvel movies in the last few years, now growing up and moving on. All that's left, it seems, is for studios to try to entice them to come back by throwing member berries and nostalgia bait into these movies, bringing back old characters, even characters who've died. The films are also becoming increasingly expensive and therefore less profitable overall. Movies based on video games, by contrast, offer fertile ground for an entirely new era of cinema to emerge, one that could prove to be just as lucrative, if not more so, than the superhero era was. There's a huge opportunity to tap into so many video game IPs and turn them into franchises that could rival the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The potential is there, especially given how much larger and more profitable the video game industry has become by comparison to Hollywood. I think we're going to see a lot more movies based on video games in the future, and of course, studios only have so much money and development time in their production schedules as they plan 5 and 10 years ahead. The financial investments made in Hollywood are likely going to be increasingly focused on video game movie adaptations into the future. And I'm also aware that I'm making this video only a few days after it was announced that director Michael Bay is going to be making a film based on the classic video game Outrun, and it will be starring Sydney Sweeney. The very fact that both DC and Marvel are anxiously hoping that their next major superhero movies coming out later this year, Superman and Fantastic Four, are going to rejuvenate and reboot the energy and interest in their franchises again, I think that says everything about where the genre is right now. That both studios are now at this Hail Mary pass stage, pinning their hopes on a single movie to get them out of the creative hole they've been in for some time now. But in truth, I think the law of diminishing returns has well and truly set in. While it may be tempting for them to try to clean slate their franchises with reboots and starting the superhero thing all over again, the ultimate clean slate, I think, is moving on from the superhero genre and focusing on movie game adaptations instead. I think there will always be new superhero movies coming out in Hollywood, but the market for them has begun to contract lately, and in the future, we'll probably see a lot less of them released each year. The MCU will likely limp forward after Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, coasting on the past glories of its heyday and occasionally producing a great movie here and there. But the next 10 years will likely be characterized by a migration away from the comic book movie genre and towards more video game movie adaptations, which are proving increasingly profitable and, of course, being taken much more seriously by critics and audiences than they once were. So guys, I'm curious as to your thoughts. What do you think of this topic? Will video game movies surpass the superhero movie era that we've been in for the last number of years? Thanks very much for watching this video. Be sure to hit that like button, share this video out there, subscribe to the channel, and of course remember to hit that notification bell to be notified of future uploads on this channel. Take care, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.